Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this week's edition of the MMA Huddle. We will be breaking down Frankie Edgar against the Korean Zombie coming up shortly. But before we do that, hit that subscribe button down at the bottom screen, just to your left or your right, whichever way you're looking at it. Just hit that subscribe button. We are nearly at the 1,000. Your help is huge. We love it. Thank you so much for last week as well. Huge numbers, 9,000 views, biggest podcast so far we've had. Great stuff. Thank you all for engaging with us. The conversations below. There was a lot of comments, which is great. A lot of great feedback. So do hit that subscribe button. Do hit the like button as well. If we can, people, it'd be great to get the like button as well, because it helps us build the podcast. It helps get ourselves in the algorithm a bit more. We'd like to hit 100 likes, Will. We say 100 likes this podcast?
If you can. If you can.
Takes 2 seconds. Doesn't take a lot of time, folks. Just quick. Little tap-a-roo. Just wants to go home. Give a little tap-a-roo. Hit that like button there, folks. Get it to 100. And again, hit that subscribe button. We are going to break down the Korean card, and obviously we're going to do the bets as well at the end. But before we go to there, Will, UFC 245 was a pretty incredible goddamn card. But I have to admit, I'm a little bit annoyed with Dana White, who said, I wouldn't mind giving him a title fight against Henry Cejudo after coming off a loss against Moraes. But Peter Yan and Aljamain Sterling are doing all the right things and just got overshadowed really quickly, in my opinion. I was rather disappointed.
I just don't think people really want to fight Peter Yan. I think it's a bad matchup for a lot of guys.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what they're going to do with Peter Yan now, because he's clearly in there, and there's not many people ahead of him. And it's all on Cejudo, because I don't think he goes back to 125. I think he should give that belt up personally and focus on 135, because I mean, he's got Benavidez, who's the number one guy probably down at 125, who he's already had that fight with, who he could actually accomplish something by beating him. Yeah, because he's got the win over him. But Peter Yan, I seen him and Garbrandt going at it. I was like, oh, don't do that fight, please, just because they're two of my guys, and it's like, I don't know whether that would be great for Cody, if we're being honest here. I think your Asin Sows that he's facing in March, I think the other type of fights you slowly build him up with, but 245 was brilliant. It was definitely one of the best cards of the year. Yeah. As much as we maybe don't like Colby Covington all too much, the guy's a good, hard-nosed fighter. Really talented fighter, actually. He's got a lot of heart. I was a little bit disappointed to see him running out, though. I thought, dude, you talked all that. You could at least do an interview before, afterwards. And
well, it's jaw, wasn't it? So probably couldn't talk too well.
Supposedly. Well, not supposedly, because it was confirmed. But new champion with Volkanovski, who looked amazing. Really strong, really strong. You could see that Holloway really couldn't get anything started on him, and his striking was fantastic. And I mean, Aldo, I think he looked rejuvenated. I thought at 135, I thought he looked really
weird,
good,
wasn't it?
I still scored the fight from Moraes, but I thought he looked rejuvenated at 135. The weight cut looked like it went as good as possibly could, and I thought he fought decent. I think he did more, land more. Because he was kind of chasing Moraes a little bit, and especially after the start that he had, I think that was. I thought he looked all right, but like I say, the matchups are stupid, because it should have been Moraes versus Yan, Faber against Aldo. That's the fights that they should have made. Not
I agree.
When I only really realised that when I seen the Faber getting absolutely starched, I thought there was no point in putting Peter Yan in there except to get more eyeballs on him.
You could do Aldo and Faber now.
Oh,
both come off a loss.
Yeah, absolutely.
No harm in doing it, I don't think. I think it would be a suitable matchup, especially more. It would suit Aldo more, because great takedown defense. Always has a great takedown defense. So Aldo then has to just apply striking to Faber. You know, and I wouldn't object to that fight. I'm not keen on Faber fighting too much, but it's a fight that's more suitable. But Dana talking about a title fight for Aldo is just, I think that's just preposterous. I think that's just disrespectful to you guys in the road. But we got to remember, the UFC, it's a money maker. They don't care about the logic. They just care about what's going to sell the tickets.
This is why everybody's kicking off with the McGregor thing. What Dana was saying, that he fights at 160 against Cerrone. If he beats him, he's next in line for Khabib or Tony. And H is sat there thinking like, what the hell's going on here? Which is fair enough. But at the end of the day, the UFC, if they've got a pay-per-view there with McGregor and say Khabib on it, but Khabib's like he's not going to fight him again. But
I like Khabib's answer though. Do you hear it? You need to go and win like 10 fights in a row. I'm like, yeah, because Khabib had to do it, so do you.
So, but I can see where the UFC are coming from regarding the fights that they want to make, because at the end of the day they're a business and they make a lot of money through those big fights, however good or bad they may be. So I'm interested to see actually what the pay-per-view numbers would be for 245, because
I think it should be good.
I think it should be decent.
3 title fights.
Yeah, but
also.
Good card. Usman, I think, fought really, really well. Colby fought really well. I take nothing away from Colby for that fight. And like I say, it really came down to the last minute of the fight. Those knockdowns don't take place. You're maybe looking...
Potential Colby decision, maybe 3-2, I know. Super tight.
Yeah, it was a good fight. It was actually a great fight, actually. There was a lot of big damaging strikes landed, and it was just a really good pay-per-view to finish off the year. Something that was kind of really, really needed heading into 2020. So, yeah, great card.
It was, and we're going to jump into the South Korea card now, folks. And down at the very bottom, we're going to work our way up with Alteng Heili against Ryan Benoit in the bantamweight division. Will, fun matchup. 2 guys who I'm looking forward to watching. Who are you looking at as the favourite, though?
I like Ryan, actually. I picked Alteng in his last fight against Batgarel. That was 2 newcomers that came into the UFC, and it was just like, it was pretty kind of salty matchmaking. I wasn't too sure, because 2 guys that aren't, I don't think they're all that great, to be honest with you. But I managed to pick the kind of right one with Alteng, and that one. Benoit, I think he's got a lot more experience against high caliber guys, and I think his skill set is just a lot better. I think he's got power in his hands. I think he can wrestle a little bit. I think his takedown defense is a little bit suspect. But like I say, he's got a bit of power. I think Alteng's going to win a grapple here. So if he can stuff some takedowns, I think his power will be a little bit better on the feet. I think he could catch him with some strikes and kind of push him back. The only things I'm a little bit worried about is that Ryan's been off for 2 years, so since he fought down in Australia. I think he's had some injuries. Been kind of looking on social media. He's been like with Gary Tonin. I think he's been working with Gary Tonin and John Danaher, the Danaher Death Squad there in New York. So I like him in this one, and I've got him. I think he could maybe knock out Alteng. If not, I think he wins a fairly comfortable decision. So I've got Ryan Benoit in that one.
Yeah, I'm with you as well. I'm going with Ryan. I think that as a skill set all around, I like the fact the options that he can offer as a striker. I think he can throw better combinations. When he can mix up nice kind of head strikes as well into his combinations. He has got the wrestling base which he can fall back onto with this fight. I just think Alteng is very, very good, very well structured as a striker. I think he's more predictable with his striking, and I think that's where Benoit can really... I want to say Benoit, by the way, because I always think about Chris Benoit when I see his name. But anyway, Benoit. I see that he can get the timings on Alteng. I find that in this, he can get the times down for Alteng, and I think Benoit's got the conditioning, the work rate, and he's also been working Ryan Benoit with boxing coaches. I'm going to forget the guy's name now. Gosh, down. Something Cruz, Angelo Cruz, something like that. He's like one of the top boxing coaches. So it's something that he's obviously taken the time and the right method to go to find some of the best boxing coaches to kind of hone in on striking. Because if you can add that to your game, obviously he's adjusting it to MMA. He's not just doing pure boxing. He's taking bits off and he's getting high level coaching. It really does show us in the fight game. With the time off, I think we're just going to see a better Ryan Benoit, if I'm honest with you. I know he's injuries-wise, but he's a guy that he does keep growing, and I do think he's a very talented guy. So I'm going with decision win for Benoit. I think Alteng's probably just a bit of a tough cookie, and I can take a few ticks on the face and make it through, but Benoit for me. Next up we have in the women's strawweight division, we have Miranda Granger against Amanda Lemos. Now, Amanda Lemos came in I want to say short notice, but it wasn't that short notice against Leslie Smith. It was like 4 weeks. Remember, we were in Glasgow for that fight. But it was 4 weeks notice. So in my eyes, 4 weeks is pretty suffice notice. I don't know about you, Will, but would you say 4 weeks is a pretty good notice period? I would say it's good, but she gassed fast. Like, she gasped. But to be fair, Leslie Smith puts a horrendous amount of pressure on her opponents, and she's always in your face. This is a tough one because Miranda Granger is a pretty standard fighter. I don't think she's overly impressive, but I think that she's got the kind of... She's tall, long for the weight class. She's... Like, there's nothing about Miranda that makes me go, wow. But she's just a very good, basic, solid fighter. Like, the fight against Goldie, she got that decision win. I thought Goldie would have probably used the power and placed the strikes a bit better, but she was punching a bit too much air for my liking, and Granger was able just to pick her off a bit better, get the decision win. Some of the fights I've watched Granger in, I wasn't overly impressed with her opponents, so it really was hard to see what level Miranda's at. I thought the Goldie fight was a good example, but Amanda Lemos throws wicked left, like leg kicks. She throws a lot of power in every strike when she's trying to go at you. I just hope that Lemos can get the conditioning right for this one, and she doesn't gas out. Because I think if Lemos can get the conditioning, she should win this fight. She hits harder, she's very aggressive, and she comes swinging. So I hope that she can come at this fight a lot better. It was a different weight class as well against Leslie Smith. Don't get me wrong. It was 20. Was it 25 or 30? No, it was 35 because I don't think 25 was around. No, it was 35. 135, wasn't it?
I think it was 25, I want to say.
25 or 35. It was a different weight class. So, to be fair, this probably is the more natural weight class for Lemos. So, she was fighting a girl who was more naturally bigger. So, she stepped in. But I'm going to go with Lemos. I think that she will obviously be far better conditioned. She's been out for a while, which I'm not 100% sure why. She's been out for a while. I didn't have the time this weekend, folks, to do enough research on everyone. In regards to like injuries and stuff, I was a bit incapacitated. I was up in A&E, so I'm all good now. But I think Amanda Lemos should, with the power that she can throw and the combination, she should actually be able to kind of wear on Miranda. So I'm going to go with I'll go decision, but I wouldn't be surprised if Lemos got a stoppage.
I'm going to go Granger, but the reason that Lemos was off for 2 years is because she got suspended.
Oh, yeah.
For steroids.
Yeah, we'll let her off with that.
There we go. So, yeah, because I had totally forgot about this. I was actually, I did my predictions earlier on. I ended up watching Another Girl thinking it was Amanda Lemos when it wasn't Amanda Lemos. So, and I was like, where's this Amanda Lemos? And I was like, Glasgow. And I remember she fought Leslie Smith in Glasgow because I think that was the first fight of the whole entire night.
And it kicked off, like remember Leslie was whipping her. Ooh.
Yeah, Leslie Smith, she had pretty much Scotland on her side for that fight.
Yeah.
Everybody was really cheering her on in that one. I mean, she had... Leslie Smith eats shots for days. She's wide open. She's got very, very bad striking defence. Mm-hmm. But like you say, her leg kicks were impressive. And she just got outboxed and she gassed. I think Granger's just... In that time that Lemos has been off in the 2.5 years, Granger's more or less had her full entire career in that time. So she's been super duper active, went in and fought, not great girls, but she's did enough. Yeah, got a UFC contract, short notice fight against Hannah Goldie. That was a stand-up fight. She's kind of more known for a ground game. So I just like Granger in this spot, but like I say, these fights can end up being super, super close, but I'll lean Granger just.
Yeah, and this next fight is the fight of the night. It's the fight I'm looking forward to most on the card. I'm absolutely flabbergasted that it is this low on the card. Comment below if you agree that this card should not be here, it should be on the main card. It's Raoni Barcelos against Sad, whatever we pronounce it, Nurmagomedov. Will, this is a insanely entertaining fight, mate.
Mm-hmm. It's a fight with two really good prospects in the division. Barcelos, if you've heard me talk about this guy before, I Really, really like him as a fighter. I think he's very, very good in a lot of different aspects as well. I think the move down to 135 is actually going to benefit him a lot. Super dangerous on the ground with striking skills that are getting better kind of fight to fight. But this is definitely by far his biggest challenge in the UFC, with a guy that's not overly had many fights in the UFC either. But obviously everybody kind of flies towards the Nurmagomedov surname. But you look at if we're going with Barcelos, he's come in, he's got a knockout there, a brutal knockout of Kurt Holober. Got the back of Chris Gutierrez, who's predominantly a striker, so he had the advantage on the ground there. And then Huaxin, it was the same really. He kind of had more of the fight down there, but finished it off with some TKO with some elbows and so on. Really good fighter. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Barcelos. When you look over to Nurmagomedov's side, dangerous, and he took out a really good prospect last time. He took out a guy with a little bit of pep in his step. He took all that and absolutely destroyed him with a spinning back kick. Nurmagomedov beat Justin Scoggins. I think this guy's got a little bit of everything. I think he's a really good, dangerous fighter. I really like Barcelos. I see this matching up really, really strongly. I don't know who. I think it's going to be pretty even on the feet. I think Barcelos is going to attempt to take this fight to the ground. I think Nurmagomedov has probably got enough to keep Barcelos from taking him to the ground. If it goes to the ground and it starts getting into scrambling positions and Barcelos have an opportunity to maybe move to different positions, he will maybe find a submission. I just don't think it's going to hit the ground as much. And then I think that Nurmagomedov's got a lot more variety. I think a lot of kicks. I think his hands are coming on. I'm edging towards picking Nurmagomedov in this one, so I'm going to take him via a very, very close split decision. But like I say, I really like Barcelos, so I'm a little bit kind of torn in this fight. So, but I think that Nurmagomedov edges it just for me.
Yeah, I'm kind of a little bit disappointed that these two get matched up so early. I think it's a kind of a shame of two prospects. I think you definitely could have given them alternative opponents and let them build up their records a bit more and maybe fight later on when they're both top 10 or something like that. But anyway, it's the UFC's matchmaking. One thing I loved about Barcelos was in the Gutierrez fight when he got cut, and he knew it was not good. He took the fight then to that next level. And Gutierrez, you'd think with Gutierrez getting the cut on Barcelos that he would then take advantage of it and try to finish the fight, go momentum. But you saw a brilliant fight or flight from Barcelos, and he just went at Gutierrez and didn't give him a break, and just got and fought for that choke, got that choke in, finished it off. I was really impressed with that. That really, that was one of the things that, as much as you're good in the striking department or the grappling, but when something like that, adversity is put before you, it's nice to see how some of them react, and he showed a lot with that. We've said he's a flamboyant guy. The Ravi fight, gosh, that spinning back kick to the liver, just devastating. And to be fair, they don't always land those kind of kicks. It's hard to land them clean, especially guys who are small or tall. You can hit their dick, it's basically, it's rough, it's a dangerous thing to hit, and it's hard to land. He does throw flamboyant kind of stuff, but what you got to remember is, with those flashy kicks and moves, it's more a case of when you throw it, you're not always trying to intend to land, but what you're doing is you're breaking your opponent's rhythm, because you're making them have to stand back and reset. So the Scoggins fight, it was a good back and forth. I enjoyed that fight. It was good fun. It was a good one, but I think Sed is way better at 135. I think it will suit him that weight class. It was 125, the Scoggins fight, and I'd like to see Sed at 135. A lot of guys, you've seen their performances improve when they've not tried to kill themselves for that extra 10. I think we'll see that with Sed as well. I think he'll get the most out of 135 division. I'm going to go slightly with Sed, because I think with Barcelos, if you can keep Barcelos at the end of your punches, you'll have a lot more success, because the guy can crack hard, but when he's in close is when he cracks. He can get those punches landed on you with hooks and swinging strikes. I think Sed he's very good at the distance game. And I think that's what made the Scoggins fight so difficult to score, because Scoggins is the same with that distance and the pair of them keeping range. But I think with Barcelos, he wants to get in closer. And I think said might just be able to negate that a bit with the distance, with the kicks. So I'm going to favour him on that side of things, but there's not a lot between them, to be honest with you. They've both got a terrifying skill set, and this 135 division, you know, if you're anyone in there, these guys are going to be horrible matchups for you. So I'm going to pick Said, but not by a lot. It's going to be a good fight, though. Gosh, people, if you do not think this is one of the fight nights, you're out your mind. You're out your mind. Next up, we have in the flyweight division. Another superb fight again. Low down in the card, but it's happening. Alexander Pantoja against Matt Schnell. Matt Schnell has come on leaps and bounds. Me and Will have spoke about in the past how he had a couple of knockouts. And some reason you'd think that when you've had a couple of those incidences where you get the stoppages, you think, cool, that's the guy's breaking point is done. That's his chin's maybe checked out, not in a negative way, but you're only going to get so many. Maybe that was it. But he kind of turned things around. He went up 135. But 120. He looks so good, Matt Schnell. Like, he's looking so much better. Well, he's looking so well rounded. Deadly on his back with the triangle attempts, submission attempts. If you get near his guard, he's got the length at 125 in the kind of length with his legs and body, where if you're in his guard, it's really difficult. You know, be honest with you, he is a devastatingly powerful guy with his hands now. He's starting to really get the power in his pop. Power in his pop, or pop in his power, or pop in his punches. Either one, pip or pop pop. I like Matt Schnell's footwork. I think everything's just flowing with him. But then again, you got Pantoja, who is a monster as well at 125. So again, these two fights here in a row are worthy of main cards, in my opinion, anyway. And Pantoja had that Figueroa fight where he just couldn't get the answer. Figueroa just had the number on him, was able to get the better of him on the feet, and Pantoja just couldn't get the fight to the ground. For me, Pantoja needed to initiate the striking more to then get the grappling going, but what he didn't do was that. So then Figueroa was able to read the takedowns a lot better. I think in this fight, Matt Schnell's going to do the same thing. Matt Schnell just needs to keep him on the end of the punches, keep those straights, keep those kind of front kicks. Pantoja's going to want to try and get it close and get it down. I don't think he's going to be able to. I think Matt Schnell's probably, if he does go down, get him into guard and just be a threat from your back. I'm actually going Matt Schnell. I think Matt Schnell can actually pull it off here. I think that the Figueroa fight was a good kind of indicator. If you just keep Pantoja away with the strikes, you can actually get the decision win here. So I'm going to go Matt Schnell, 3 rounds, decision win with long distance striking. I think it's there for him to take.
It's super opportunistic with this choke, isn't it? With the triangle choke.
Oh,
Matt Schnell, when he fights, it's like he doesn't take him. Doesn't take him that long to cinch.
Whips that on, doesn't he? Because he's so long.
Yeah, like he must have a really good squeeze with those legs. It's pretty phenomenal watching that. I mean, it's only 5 minutes of fight time if you watch the last 2 fights against Espinosa and Smolka, but he's super opportunistic with that triangle choke. So that's obviously something you've got to really keep your eye on. I think one of the things that's really came through to me in this last 4 fights, obviously he's won all his last 4 fights, his striking's getting better. He's starting to use his kind of length a little bit more because he is a kind of lengthier fighter for a flyweight division. And in the exchanges, he's the one that seems to be getting off for the most part. And he's made his strides. I mean, you're going from Beltran, not in the UFC anymore, Inoue, who was very inexperienced with striking, Smolka, who's a UFC vet at this point, who's also super dangerous on the ground. You have to be careful, mind your kind of P's and Q's down there. And then Espinosa is a really good athlete, very explosive, but he just caught him, and that's what happened sometimes. Pantoja is a guy I've always really liked. I always really liked watching him fight. I think Figueiredo was just a guy that was too strong, hits too hard, and he was trying to get some of the shots back that Davison was landing. So when Davison was landing big, he was trying to pull it back, and that's when he got dropped against Figueiredo. So overall, I think as a fighter, I actually like Pantoja. I like him to win this fight as well, but I can see it being quite close. But if they get into these scrambles on the ground, I don't think he's going to catch someone like Pantoja, who is a legit black belt by all intents and purposes. I've heard that he's really, really good on the ground. But this might end up being more of a kind of striking affair. If I'm Pantoja, I try and mix it up a little bit. Just be careful when you take Schnell to the ground. If you can get like his back, into side control, then I think he could maybe find a finish. But like I say, close fight. I'm going to edge Pantoja for the win, though.
Nice. Okay, next up we have in the lightweight division is a man making his UFC debut. Now, he's got a bit of a long name online, but it's actually Omar Morales, if you want to just knock it down short. If you want to search for him, if you want to check him out online, because his name's crazy long, but it's not. He's faced off against a Dong Hwang Ma, who is not having a good run. Will, a couple of losses in the UFC in a row. Could be on the chopping block, who knows? But Will, what are you looking forward to in this fight, bro?
Yeah, he's absolutely in the chopping block, but I mean, he's fighting at home. So he's fighting in Korea. So this is a big fight. You've got some things on your side there. But to me, he's definitely depleting a little bit. He's definitely moving himself back. I don't think he was ever really good to start with. I thought he was competitive in fights. I think the fight against Polo Reyes really sticks in people's mind. Maybe that's why he's getting more opportunities. And to be fair, he did win a few fights after that.
You got the Gomi fight as well, which for him is probably that's his mecca.
But Gomi is like that.
Done.
That was ghost. Well and truly, the
BJ
ghost.
Penn could beat Gomi.
Yeah, the only win out of those three, the last three wins, is the Damian Brown, because that guy bites down his mouthpiece and he comes after you and he's willing to throw down. Got knocked out badly against Devontae Smith. Got stopped by Scott Holtzman. I think he missed weight in that one as well. I think he's starting to fade quite a bit now, and I think that like with these Dana White Contender Show guys, they're trying to get them wins. They're trying to push Dana White's show and the guys that they're bringing from the show onto the UFC. They did that last week with Chase Hooper. They're going to start pushing it and giving them not favourable matchups, but definitely matchups they can win. This is a matchup I think Omar Morales is going to win. I think he's when I look at him, he's super solid in a lot of different areas. He's not a young kid either. He's 32 years old, but on the show I thought he looked good. Got some big power, and just looks a really solid kind of prospect. I think he'll win fights in the UFC. I think it's a good matchup for him. Just be careful, because Dong Maya, sometimes if you start swinging, he likes to get into those kind of wars, or at least a few times before that he did. Maybe he's kind of fell out of confidence with his chin. Maybe that's why he's getting knocked out, because it doesn't really seem to take much for him to really go down and stay down. So I've got Omar Morales. I've got him via TKO in the second. I think this is good matchup making for him. But being in Korea, it might just lift the maestro up a little bit and want to get him to win at home and probably salvage his UFC career. But I've got Morales via TKO. Yeah,
sometimes that home territory can give you like a little spur of energy and a little bit of, a bit more gun-ho, you never know. Omar looked, like you say, in his fights, Bellator as well he fought, and he caught his opponent, because his opponent kind of did a tell where he was leaning over and he ended up getting kicked right in the face. And I think it was probably like a body shot Omar was going for, but his opponent kind of went down so far with his head, it kind of cracking him in the face, against Troy something ski, I think, at the end of it, something like that. But we'll do Choi for now. Omar looked good in the Dana White Contender Series as well. Looked composed. He looked patient. That was the thing I liked about it. It's probably the maturity of his age kind of gave him that, that kind of patience. He picked shots well. He's got good dexterity for throwing head kicks as well, which is a good one. It looked quite smooth. I think Dong has got to be really, really wary of this, because I think if I'm Omar, I want to keep the fight on the ground. Keep the fight on the ground. Apologies. Keep the fight standing and really just pick off on him. Dong probably wants to get the fight close, wear out Omar. Hopefully Omar's having a bit of an adrenaline rush. The travel as well across could play a factor. I think the UFC have got Omar in more as a what's the word I want to use? Like a PR thing, because he's Venezuelan. They can use him for marketing when they go to South America and stuff like that. Isn't that's where Venezuela is, South America, isn't it? My geography's coming out here, folks, as you can tell. But yeah, I think it's just more of a marketing thing, because like you said, Will, he's 32, 33 years old. Yeah. So in the lightweight division, how many guys in the lightweight division do you see compete for an extended period of time at the highest level? Not too many. So I think it's more of a PR thing. It'll be good. It'll just be kind of ways to kind of promote themselves in the South American countries and kind of get new breed, the new fresh blood in. So I'm going to go with Omar. I think he should get the win. I think he possibly could get a stoppage, depending on how Dong's chin is these days. If maybe I want to give Dong the benefit of doubt on home territory, I'll go decision win for Omar. I'll give him a little home territory boost, but he's probably going to get cut because I don't see much I don't see much of an evolution in him as a fighter. I still see the same guy that rocked up on day one in the UFC, and I think if you're in the UFC, if you don't evolve, you're gonna really get caught out real quick. Unless you're like a Damian Maia who's got an obscenely high level of one aspect where you can get away with it, you're not got a chance. Next up, we have in the featherweight division is Swung Woo Choi. Swung Woo Choi. Yeah. We'll go with that. Against Suman Mokhtarian. Now, if there's any South Koreans listening to this, do not come back with comments about the names. Get over it. I'm not South Korean, so I don't pronounce it properly. This is a fight which I see staying standing. Because if I'm Suman Mokhtarian, I want to keep it standing. I have got a little gripe about Suman though. I wish he would just shut up sometimes during the fights. Because he does the whole... puts his arms up, like, is that it? Like when someone lands like a leg kick or throws anything. It's maybe just the way he fights. Maybe it's like a bit smack, his version of smack talk. But I just find it goddamn pissing annoying, if I'm honest with you folks. Just shut up and fight. I think Choi is a good fighter, but I don't see him as a UFC level fighter. I really don't. I think that he got found out against Evulov, who, to be honest with you, we can write that one off because there was no chance he was going to do well in that fight. Me and Will said he was going to get mauled, and he did. The Gavin Tucker fight again. Gavin Tucker looked really good. Good combination, solid grappling, grip work. Good fight. I think Suman Mokhtarian should do similar again, Will, in my opinion. I think if he can just land a good shots, go for takedowns at right times if needed, but Suman will want to stay standing. And I think he should do well in this fight. This is the kind of fight he should be getting a win, or opponents he should get a win over. I'm going to go with, let me say, stoppage. I'm going to go stoppage because I think Suman can. I think he can pop. I think he can bang. The both of them on a 2-fight loss. Two-fight losing streak. I know Suman was a bit miffed with his stoppage against Yusuf. That's it. Sorry for the pause. I had to think. Yusuf. I can see why the referee stopped it. I know the punches weren't landing cleanly, but I can see why the referee stopped it. He wasn't that wobbled when the fight got stopped, but I don't think they're even that great. So I'm going to go with Suman. He's probably the best of the bad pair. But Will, who are you going to go for?
Oh, it's just it's like picking a Mokhtarian brother to like win a UFC fight because they ain't great. They ain't great, guys. And Sung Woo Choi, I mean, he kind of shagged me last time when I thought he would have a lot of advantages over Gavin Tucker, and yet couldn't really stop a takedown against a striker, really. So this fight is really, really tough for me to pick. If you're picking, you should really go dog or pass. So you should be on the Suman side, but I'm going to go Sung Woo Choi, even though I've got zero confidence in it at all. Like I say, Suman's actually more of a ground fighter as well. I think he's actually trying to improve his striking from what I've kind of seen in social media and some of the live chat things I've seen. He's been really working on his hands to try and have a second kind of area of attack because he feels like his ground game is really, really good. So, yeah, like I say, Sung Woo Choi really let me down against Gavin Tucker. I thought that he was going to come out there, was going to kind of use his distance, but you can't really trust the guy to do that. So I'll go Sung Woo Choi, but honestly, I've got no real confidence in the pick there. So, yeah, I'll stick around with Choi in that one.
I'm the same again. It's a pink slip fight. No one, and even when the other person gets to stay, no one's going to be arsed. I would cut both of them. Next up, we have main event of the prelims. Okay, kind of quick turnaround, so to speak, for the pair of them because they both fought. I think they both fought. Was it the same card or the week after each other or something like that?
Yeah, I think we both fought in Singapore. Probably, yeah, a week apart, probably. Yeah.
Yeah. So Ciryl Gane against Tanner Boser. Will, For the pair of them, it was good. Like, quick turnarounds off the go, and let's do it again.
Yeah, I think it's just solid matchmaking for Ciryl. Actually, I think it's just when you look at Tanner Boser, he's really not devastating in any area, but he's very serviceable in a lot of areas. So tough is a word I kind of use for Tanner Boser. He's a guy that very rarely gets taken out. In that fight with Daniel Spitz, like I said, I think I said the last time he went over to Russia, beat a few guys over there, and lost to a few guys as well, but didn't really look out at his depth. Daniel Spitz, he really just beat him up with his striking. Used a lot of kind of leg kicks and broke him the taller guy down, and really did that. But when you look at Ciryl Gane, he's not got a striking advantage. He's definitely not got a submission advantage, because Ciryl Gane's really seemed to, well, at least when I thought Ciryl came into the UFC, he was going to knock out a lot of guys, but he's shown he's got a really, really devastating kind of all-around game. And got himself a couple of submissions. Looked really good against Dontel Mays. But he is still really, really young in his career. And he's fighting a guy here who's got closing in 25 fights.
Yeah.
So
like four times plus the amount of fights, something like that.
And he's got a chin, and it's hard to face. So this is good matchmaking, in my opinion. I think if Ciryl Gane can get him out of there, that'll be a big feather in his cap. I think that Boser, I think he'll last the 15 minutes, honestly. Looking at Dontel Mays, and he kind of got beat up across the kind of 14-odd minutes that he was in that fight. But Tanner Boser eats a shot fairly well and keeps on coming. So I've got Ciryl Gane to kind of go 15 minutes here. I think it'll be an invaluable 15 minutes. And then I think he heads into 2020 being a big guy the UFC can try and push, but they need to matchmake properly and make sure that he can get those step-ups, because he's got in his 2 fights, he's got that step-up each time now. He's got it with Boser, who's got himself a UFC win. So I'll go Ciryl to win via decision.
Yeah, I'm with you, Will, with the mindset of the UFC, where this is they're kind of hoping that Gane can get a win. And I think the reason is, he is your main event for UFC Paris. It's written all over it, like, because I know Francis Ngannou was going to fight Rosenstruck next, but overall, out of your French fighters, I think Gane is your perfect one for a main event. I think build them up later part of the year, maybe July to September time. You go to Paris for the UFC first time, and I think Gane by then would. I think that's possible. That it's there. You know, I don't know about how you think about that, Will, but I think that's possible what they've got here.
Yeah, they've got some serious like talent coming through, and so they like really have like
outside of UFC, there's loads of guys around.
Shari that's in Cage Warriors, who just knocked out Dean Truman. They've got the flyweight guy whose name Fedini, I think it is, and then they've got Parnasse, who I honestly think he's. And we've got some prospects in Europe with Mason Jones and Oben Elliott, Ian McGarry and stuff. I think Parnasse is an absolute diamond. So if you've not seen that guy,
solid fire.
Check him out on. I think UFC in 20. If they go to France and they don't take a guy like him with them, they're seriously messing up. So go check him out. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm with you, Will. There's a ton of guys there, and I think that Gane would be a great spearhead for the brand marketing main card. So I think he is set up here. And what I like about Gane so far in the UFC, he is patient. I really like it. He's a patient heavyweight. I know he comes in and he cracks and he throws some good combinations, but he's not staying in the pocket and trying to get the fight out the way. He'll land, come away, reset, and then keep going. Like nice leg kicks, nice teeps, nice movement, nice combos. I know he got the finish in his last fight, which I thought it almost went to a decision. It would have been a dominant decision, don't get me wrong, but he ended up just going for that heel hook, just out. Do you know what? He went for that because time was up nearly. The fight was going to be over. He just fell back, went for the heel hook and got it. But it does show then he's got an alternative kind of skill set rather than just the striking. I think Boser doesn't have anywhere near that. I think Boser's kind of set in stone in the way he fights, the style of fight that he has as well. So I kind of feel a bit rough for Boser because I think he's going to have a tough one here because I think Gane's got to be quicker. He's going to be in and out. I think Boser's got to use the leg kicks if he's going to catch Gane to slow him down. But even then, I don't think he'll have a tough time with Gane with the grappling. I think Gane could maybe get the fight to the mat and stay on top of him, really grind out a bit. Gane's shown good conditioning as well, Will. I think you'll agree. The 15 minutes that he had, nearly pretty much 15, he looked pretty good, well conditioned for a heavyweight. You know, I was surprised. So yeah, I'm going with Gane as well. I think decision win, because I think he'll be very smart. He's really clever because he's young, early in his career, and he's getting those minutes in the ring or cage, however you want to word it, but he's getting that clock time up, which is huge for his experience and knowledge base, which you can't, if he went in there and started starching guys, which I think in theory, if I'm honest, I reckon he could have, if he really wanted to, he can go full blown combinations thrown heavy, and he could probably put guys out pretty quick, but he's doing really nice work, and I'm going to go with Gane for decision win as well, bro. Next up, kicking off the main card in the South Korea, we have two guys facing each other. We've got Ho Kang against Lu Piang. Will, I love this matchup because I love Kang. End of. That's it. Now, Pingyuan surprised me. He surprised me in the UFC how he's performed. He performed better than I actually thought he was going to do, but I still don't think he's going to do that well against Kang. I think Kang. I think Kang is a fantastic fighter in strength, speed, power, grappling aspect. He's got good takedowns in. Pingyuan did well against Stasiak, caught me off guard with that one when he got that win. He then lost to, what was his latest fight? Martinez. I'm going to forget now. Gosh, I watched that many blinking fights. You forget they all merge as one, don't they? He got a knee in the face or something, didn't he? Or knee? Yeah. Now, that was near the end of the fight. And that was a good knee, though, don't get me wrong, but he was just outclassed in that fight. I thought Martinez was doing the better of the fighting. He got a win against Martin Day, but I think Kang here is a step above for Pingyuan. I think Kang's going to be able to land better, harder strikes, and if it does go to the grappling aspect, I think Kang can get to the fight to the ground and stop him. But I'm going to go with Kang stoppage on the feet. I think he's got the power and the speed in his hands to really cause Pingyuan a lot of problems. So I think there's a level to Pingyuan which is on the lower side of the bantamweight division. Definitely think he's on the lower side. I think he beat some of the guys in there, but I think he's like I think Alatang and Pingyuan kind of similar level, but then you're going up to the Kangs and stuff, and I think that's where we're at there. I think Kang's definitely a high level. There's a higher ceiling for Kang between the two. I know Kang he came back after his military stuff, and he's fighting a bit more regular, so it's good to see Kang back now, and hopefully he can fight a few more times next year as well. So I'm going to go Kang. I'm going to decision win. I'm going to say decision win for Kang.
I just think he's big. I think he's too big for this. Yeah. I think he's got a strength advantage. I think he's got a grappling advantage if he wants to use it. His striking is something that's definitely come on over since his return, really. His defense, he still can get hit with some shots, but he's very long and very big if he gets you to the ground and gets your back or whatever it may be. I'm like you, I've always been a fan of Mr. Perfect. I think that he's been a really good fight in the UFC. I think that they've kind of taken him slow. They've given him some fairly decent matchups, but I think these type of match, I think he could maybe run through Pingyuan a little bit. He's kind of more of a striker, and if they were getting into clinch battles and so on, I think that if he was to get into the ground, I think he would find a submission or he would find a TKO. I like Mr. Perfect in this one. I like Kang pretty handily. I think he gets a stoppage. I think he gets him by submission. I just think he's too strong. I think once they clinch up, Pingyuan's going to feel that, and I think once it hits the mat, I just think Kang's going to be too big, and he's going to wrap something up. So I've got Kang via probably submission in that one.
Yeah, he is a specimen, Kang. And next up we have in the middleweight division. We're going up a few weight classes now. We're going to have Jung Yong Park against Marc-Andre Barriault. Will, I think I've got my decision made pretty solid, but Will, who are you looking at this one?
I've not been super impressed with Barriault. I thought he'd... I don't know what I was actually kind of thinking. I thought he's had a couple of close fights, I suppose, but I just don't see a hell of a lot in his fighting style. I think that he's a kind of stop the takedowns and just brawl kind of guy, and he can do that pretty well. But if you can game plan properly for him and maybe working takedowns, and in saying that, he got a takedown in his last fight against Jotko. It was a close fight, which I think Jotko just did enough in, but Barriault must have felt like he'd done enough as well.
It was a good fight.
He was.
I think for the pair of them, I thought it was a good scrap.
Yeah, Sanchez in the first fight he had in the UFC really did his utmost to keep him against the cage and make him work really hard to get there and have his back against the cage. And eventually, once that fight, when the third, Barriault had a little bit more success when Sanchez started slowing down. Park, he seems to me like he just likes to throw a lot of leather, and that might not be a good thing against Barriault. But I think Park's got a lot of pop in his fight, a lot of pop in his hands. Sorry, and he showed that in the fight with Fluffy Hernandez, where he threw a lot of volume.
He cut him, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. He cut him really badly, but the guy couldn't stop a takedown. So I'm thinking, I think Barriault's actually at TriStar. If he is at TriStar, I think having someone like Faraz there who knows what the guys are like, he'll take Park to the ground. But actually, I don't know if he's at TriStar, so that's the thing. But I kind of heard in the grapevine that's where he was going. If this becomes a little bit of a stand-up fight, I think Park's very dangerous. Barriault likes those scraps as well, though. You watch him and when he was TKO.
TKO, yeah.
Yeah, once he's got someone backed up and he's got distance to throw big, powerful bombs, he'll do it. So I think this might be an absolute banger of a fight here. I'm going to lean Park, actually.
Ooh, nice.
I'm going to go with Park in this one in a close fight where the rounds, not like something definitive's landed. He might just get the nod in the judges' scorecard. I think I just wanted to take a flyer on him. I think that he's got an opportunity to maybe win a striking decision, but it wouldn't surprise me if Barriault actually knocked him out or hurt him or really kind of got on top of him either. So I'm going to take the Iron Turtle, as his nickname is.
I like it, bro. I like it. Park that caught me out guard. I'm going to go with the other way. I'm going to go with the Canadian. Is it Barriault it's pronounced? Yeah, it's these French-Canadian names, isn't it? Barriault, Barry. Yeah, I'm going to go Barry because I think that, like I said, one of the things was the fact it was a takedown defense. And I know Barriault can stand and bang, but when you're in his position, I think the smart move is to try and just get the W. And I think that this kind of fight, obviously, I think Barriault will engage the striking with Park, but the takedown would be there for the, getting against cage. And Barriault, I think, has got a better all-round skill set. And that's probably because of experience with the guys he's fought, because he fought like at light heavyweight and middleweight in TKO, and he did well against kind of guys who were variable in their skill sets, the guys he fought in there. I kind of like that promotion, to be honest with you. Watch after when you do tape study on guys who come from there. There's some good talent. There's some good talent in there. It's just hard to keep on top of every promotion. There's that many goddamn fights, but that's one of the ones I quite enjoy watching their tape study on. For me, Park, I just felt that I'm sure he's worked on takedown defense since then. And the pop that he has in his hands, I think Hernandez. I've never been uber high on Hernandez. I think he's a good fighter, but I was never overly excited about Hernandez even in the UFC. And I think Barriault, if he has been TriStar, you're right there with takedown options. I think Faraz is too smart to let that fight just slip and just go stand and bang with him. He's too smart to let his fighters do that. I'm going to go with Barriault. I think he can mix in the striking with the takedowns, and kind of a combination of the two things will get him a decision win and just grind it out. Even if he gets him against the cage, Park can just grind Park on the cage. Barriault's able to do that. He can do a 3-rounder of just grinding. So I'm going to go with that because I think his conditioning, he's pretty well conditioned for a middleweight. He's got a lot of output and he can do a lot of grappling for that time and keep going. So I'm going to go with that, Barriault on that one. Next up we have, Will, in the light heavyweight division, which is going to be a fun fight. Jung against Mike Rodriguez. If I said he's quicker, it'd probably sound a lot better, wouldn't it? Probably a lot smoother. But I don't think I'm going to be invited onto South Korean TV to do any analyst work. This one is mate. I think Jung got his win against Kadidez because Kadidez shot his load, excuse the pun, in the first 30 seconds when he caught him. Jung got rocked, and then Kadidez, was it Kadidez? No, it wasn't. Yeah, Kadidez, yeah. Yeah. Man, he just let everything go, and then it was awful to watch because you just watched the guy go, oh shit, that's all I've got. I'm done. It's not over. Oh, how long's left?
That 110 punch combination
that didn't land.
He's landed.
It was. horrible to watch, because that fight, if I'm honest with you, I did not enjoy watching that after that moment, because Jung took forever to get Kadires out. I was like, Kadires hasn't got anything in. He's got nothing in his punches. He's going to be hitting you with nothing. Go forward, put the pressure, start throwing. Hit low, hit high, just get the combinations going, but he didn't. Till he got the choke or whatever it was at the end. Kadires was done. It was shocking. Mike Rodriguez, I think he's a better fighter. I think on the feet especially, I think he's got those kicks, he's got the reach. Mike Rodriguez, off the top of my head, I think he's got a really long reach. I think he's like an 80-odd inch or 82 inches reach or something like that. He's got a really big reach for that weight class. I think he's got good jabs, good straights. I think it's going to be a stand-up fight, this one. And I think Jung is... I don't think he has the output. I don't think he has the fight IQ. I think Mike Rodriguez is just a stronger fighter, in my opinion, for this one. I'm definitely going Mike Rodriguez. I think he could stop Jung with like the kicks, body kick, head kicks. I've got to be honest, I'm just more impressed with what Mike Rodriguez can do, because I think the fight IQ for me in the Jung fight really stood out, and that's what kind of got me. I was like, man, you should be putting this guy away by now. Like, Kadires is a dangerous fighter. I'm not disrespecting Kadires, but when he was that gassed, man, I know he's lost against Mike Rodriguez lost against John Allen, but to be fair, it was a good fight, and I didn't think he was that much out of it in that fight. I thought he did pretty well, but I'm going to go with Mike Rodriguez in this one.
Yeah, he just couldn't stop a takedown in that John Allen fight. But then John Allen, I think he went and popped for steroids as well. So, I think Rodriguez is a bit of a spaceman. I think he's very athletic. He hits very, very hard. And I think that he's just going to... I think he's going to push Jung against the cage here. And I think if you give him space, he's going to hurt you. Because Ibragimov had him pinned there and was just throwing everything he possibly could and was landing nothing. Mike Rodriguez is not going to stand there and just wing shots. He's going to pick shots and he's going to mix it up a little bit. So I really like Mike Rodriguez actually to win this fight. I think that when you look at, just going back and watching the fights through of Jung, they're against lower level guys, but he gives those low level guys opportunities in the fight. Doesn't really get in there that quick. I don't really know kind of what his prime optimum's kind of skill set is, because he can accept some bad positions as well. I've got Mike Rodriguez. I think he knocks him out in the first 2 rounds here, so I've got Rodriguez for the win.
And next up we have a bit of a fan favourite almost, this guy, Du Ho Choi against Charles Jourdain. Will, who are you picking for this matchup, bro?
Yeah, I'm really happy that the Korean Superboy is back. I kind of feel for him a little bit. I think just how good he was in his first 3 fights, he was pushed really, really quick.
Agreed.
Too high. Yeah, he was 25, 26, Korean. They're always looking for these guys in the Middle East, out in Asia, to try and build across, because it's such a big market.
Yeah,
Japan, China, Korea, wherever you may come from out of that side in Asia. But that fight with Swanson was unreal. He had his points where he was hitting Swanson with some big shots. He was taking some big shots. Then I think they're
20 years older after that fight, a pair of them.
Yeah. He took a year off that. So
yeah.
Then he came back against Jeremy Stephens, and Jeremy Stephens can, if he can knock anybody, like I really believe he can knock pretty much anybody out if he can catch you with that right shot. And that's what kind of happened there. And then he's went obviously in his military.
Quick opinion, bro.
Mm-hmm.
If you're the UFC, I'll rephrase that. If Choi loses to Cub Swanson, he takes a year out. Would you match him up with someone like Jeremy Stephens on his return bout?
No. You don't give him
top 15 guy.
Yeah, you give him a guy, give him a winnable fight against a guy that's got UFC wins. Yeah. Not put him in. I even think that was a main event. It was a main event.
Yeah.
Against Jeremy Stephens, and that's what I'm saying. That's what those big back and forth fight of the year contenders can do. They push into positions where you really. Once that, the UFC should have realised, right, we need to kind of rein back a little bit in this dude.
Yeah.
But this, I think, is a decent matchup for him. I think he's technically far superior than what Charles Jourdain is. I was actually really, really impressed with Jourdain in his UFC debut. I don't know about you against Deskin. I thought he fought really well, being short notice against a far bigger dude.
Yeah.
Finally fighting down at 145 here. Um, I think he's a really good fighter. I just don't think he beats Do Choi. I think he's too technical, too powerful. Like I say, these are the kind of type of matchups that he had beforehand. Your Tavares, of the same kind of level. Maybe Jourdain was never a level what Tavares is when he was at his pomp, but
Yeah.
I still think he's dangerous. This is either going to be one of these fights where I think Do Choi gets him out really early, or if this plays out, Charles Jourdain might make this a lot closer than what people think, but I've ultimately got Choi by knockout. I think he catches him straight down the pipe with something and gets the win at home here. But like I say, Charles Jourdain's decent. I think it's a good fight for him to come back to, and I think this, like I say, it could be an all-action fight as well. So, but I've got Choi via knockout. I think he catches him with something big.
Yeah, I'm with you on the Choi kind of building of the fight. It's like Seung Yudong as well, you know. I want that kid brought up right through the ranks, you know. I don't like guys. I just gripes when they push the guys too fast. I'm like, build them properly, build up the reps, build up the rep numbers. You know, look what by doing that you get a Max Holloway.
Yeah.
You know, gets a ton of wins, gets a title, and goes on. You know, that's what happens when you build up guys properly. You build up guys the right way. That's what happens. You push guys too fast, they just burn in the sun. You know, look at Sage Northcutt.
Yeah.
Put him in too fast. You should just build that kid up way slow. Put him right under the radar and just don't make a big deal of him. And then make a big deal of him when the time's right, when the fan base is there. You know, I'm worried about, like, last week against Hopper. You know, I'm worried about that kid as well. You know, super young kid, comes in, performs, and then I'm just like, please don't do the same to him. So Choi's getting the right matchup. When I saw the matchup, Charles Jourdain, I went, this is what he should be getting. He should be getting guys who are good level, but they're not top 15. Let Choi build up a few wins again. And with you, Will, everything you said, technique-wise, that pop from Choi is god darn freaking scary. That kid has got the weirdest pop in his hands. Like, is not much of a wind-up, not much, and he just pop, and the guy's just suddenly hit the ground. It's weird. I think this is a good matchup because the Des Green fight, I know Des is bigger. Des had fought 145 in the past himself, but Des Green was on a bit of a roll, confidence was booming, but also one thing I noticed with Charles was his movement worried me a little bit in that fight because he is very much a forward and backwards. There wasn't too much of an angle with him with striking and coming in, the entries, etc., and the exits. And for Choi, that's exactly what Choi needs. When guys come in, he has that right straight pop that's just down the pipe, and I think Charles can come into that and walk into it. So I think Choi's going to get the win here. I think it's set up more for him to get the win. It's not set in stone the win, but it's more favourable fight for him to get an opportunity in South Korea. So I'm with you, Will. I'm going Choi stoppage. Co-main event, no time. Volkan Oezdemir against Alexandre. Yeah, not Alex. Alexander Rakić. Fun matchup. I like it. It's a good match because Rakić, you know, Rakić, or whatever you want to say, he's kind of had a quick rise as well because he's done some good performances, stoppages, and that knockout by Jimmy Manuel. Dang, that head kick! Woo, that was gnarly. Put him on the map, so to speak. To be fair, Jimmy was kind of on the way out, but you know, he's still got the win. I like Rakić. I think he's a good fighter. I like Volkan Oezdemir's kind of comeback, so to speak, you know. Meteor, super quick rise, got to title fight, then loses a handful of fights. And I will be honest with that fight against Latifi, he looked superb. You know, because Latifi's a dangerous guy, because Latifi just has that really heavy, powerful strike. He can catch you, but he looked fantastic, just patient. But one thing about Volkan Oezdemir is his pressure. He does not let you breathe. He just keeps coming forward and doesn't stop. And Reyes didn't like it. That Reyes fight, that was it. Man, I don't know about the decision for Reyes. I'm just saying, that was a squeaky tight fight. And if they called a draw, I would have probably been a bit happier. So, man, that fight, man, Oezdemir, great pressure, good power, and he has a really good output. Like, he looked really well conditioned as well in that Reyes fight, as well as the Latifi fight. Rakić has got good head kicks. He's got good combinations, but he is hittable. He does get caught. Devin Clark caught him with a lovely little left hook, and then he stopped Devin Clark with a, I want to say, fluky backhand punch thing. It was just caught Devin Clark, and Devin wasn't expecting it. I think Rakić just didn't really aim it. He just threw his arm back and caught it. But man, he's there to be hit, Rakić. I think I'm going to go Volkan Oezdemir, mate. I really am. I think Volkan he does get hit. He can't, but the pressure of just coming forward on Rakić 3 rounds, it is so tiring going backwards. And when you're 205-pound fighter, obviously they're not going to be 205, they're probably going to be 225 when they step in. It's goddamn exhausting going backwards all the time. And Volkan will just keep coming forward because he's happy to take a punch to throw one back. Now, I'm actually going Volkan here. I thought his kind of way he's come back over these past few fights, he's really impressed me. I kind of had him out a little bit, but man, I'm back on the Volkan train. I'm going Volkan Oezdemir to stop the kind of momentum of Alexandre.
Yeah, good fight, actually. I'm really looking forward to this one. Talking to Jimmy Manoa, by the way, I hear he's coming back.
Yeah, he's put that status up, I know. I thought, going back up to get knocked out, are you? Well done, Jimmy.
Which was a little bit...
unless he goes at heavyweight.
Yeah, well, who knows? But I hear that Jimmy Manoa was on his way back. But good fight. Initially, I was like really wanting to be on Volkan Oezdemir here. But I'm going to be on Aleksandar Rakić.
Okay, cool.
When he came to the UFC, I was like, right, okay, I think that he'll be an addition to the UFC 205 division. Then he fought Ledate, which that fight, honestly, if I can watch that fight, that was an unbelievable performance across 15 minutes. He did everything, literally in the first 20 seconds of that fight, he threw a massive leg kick that really just like, Ledate was like, I don't want to be taking any more of those. And then just kept getting caught with everything that Rakić was throwing. His takedown was pretty. His takedowns were really, really pretty in that one as well. And then, like I say, the one that will obviously jump out at you is Devin Clark because he got floored a couple of times in that fight. But ultimately, he came through a sketchy situation and got the win. And Devin Clark's not like super high level, but he's tough. He's very tough and gritty. I took a lot out of that for Rakić. It shows that he's got heart. He's got a lot of durability. Not a lot of durability, but take a shot. And come back.
Recovery. He's got good recovery time.
That's the word I was probably looking for. And then, like I say, you've seen that like the gifts that he's got by what he did to Manoa. That leg came up so quick, so devastating, so just a sore looking head kick, nasty. That this match is interesting because Volkan's no easy kind of guy to get around it. Not unless you're someone like DC who can ragdoll him over the space of the whole entire fight, but even in one round he can ragdoll you and get you down. I don't see Rakić doing that, so it's going to give more opportunities for Volkan to be in this fight with the stand-up here. But I think as a more varied striker, I think Rakić is definitely better than that. I think he's got better leg kicks. I think he can throw better kicks, and he's got big power in his hands. And I think he could try and take down Volkan, but like I say, Latifi had very little success against Volkan in that aspect, so it's interesting. It's a really interesting fight, and all these young guys that I thought were going to be potential challengers. Obviously, you've got Reyes, who's fighting John Jones. He's still intact. He came through Volkan very close, but Oleksiejczuk fell off. Jimmy, what's his name, Johnny Walker. Taken out of the game by Corey Anderson. So these young guys are realising that there is guys out there that are really, really tough, don't want to give up the spot in the division. I've just got Rakić over 15 minutes here. I think that he lands the bigger strikes. I think he pushes Volkan back a little bit. I think his varied attacks win him the fight. He might even get a takedown or whatever. Love the fact that he's American top team. I think that gym is just like so good. And going there go for long periods. I don't know where Volkan is because I don't know whether he's allowed in America, which is interesting. I think that he's got some personal stuff. I'm going to go Aleksandar Rakić via decision. I think he comes through his challenge here, and he could be one of those guys. I don't think you'd ever. I've seen a lot of people actually say Rakić is the guy that's going to beat John Jones, and I don't see anybody at 205 that's going to do it. But I think he's got himself a really good opportunity to be a top 5 light heavyweight. So
Yeah.
I'll go Rakić for decision.
Yeah, do you know what? It's a fantastic matchup. When I didn't think much of it at first, but until I did tape study, and then I got into it a bit more. We'll go up to the main event now. Before we get started, this is the main event. This fight is Frankie Edgar stepping in short nose against Korean Zombie. I say short nose, but he's stepping in against... Frankie's always fit, so he's never really short nose. But before we get started on the breakdowns, 29th of December, we are going to do a live chat, so please do join us for that on the 29th of December. I would give you a time, but depending on where you are in the world listening to this, there's not much point. But we will be going for around 8 o'clock in the UK time, so if wherever you are in the world, set your clocks. We'll put a little thing up to let you know when it's coming on. So do join in. Just a general chit chat about MMA, UFC, Bellator, ONE FC, whatever you want to talk about. We'll be taking your kind of questions and general chit chat just to, end the year on a high and enjoy the festive times. So let's go to the main card though. Will Frankie Edgar against the Korean Jourdain Zombie. Will, who are you scoring a win for though?
Like I said, I think it's a really good replacement for T-City.
Sick replacement.
Yeah, I actually thought Korean Zombie was going to have his way with Ortega pretty handily, actually. I thought that's a bad matchup for Ortega, in my opinion. But I also didn't like the matchup that Frankie Edgar had with Corey Sandhagen. I thought, Jesus, moving in.
I didn't.
And facing that guy, I was like... Dude, there's no need to be... I know you probably want to get that belt. You're not going to get it at 145. You're not going to get it at 55. I don't think people realise just how much a savage division 135 is.
Oh, horrible, isn't it?
Yeah, you've got Sandhagen, you've got people like Jan, and you've got people like Wood coming through, and there's so many good fighters in that division. I think it's actually probably the best division in the UFC. I think it's... At
the moment, it's just on fire, isn't it? With prospects.
With prospects everywhere. But getting back to this one... I think this is a bad style matchup for Frankie Edgar. I think that he's I don't want to say he's panicking because he's dropping down another weight division. 135 is probably the division that dude should always been at, was 135.
Yeah, probably, yeah, I agree.
So it might bring out the best in him. I don't know. I think the boat's passed in it. And Zombie, I think, fighting in South Korea for the first time, this is going to be huge. I think the time this main event comes around, the crowd's going to really be into it. And... Like, the Zombie is... I said this earlier on. He's only 32, but he feels like he's been around
looks for about 600, doesn't he?
Absolutely years. And, he's had a long time off in between fights because he had the Aldo fight, had to do military service in Korea. Then he came back and he blew out Dennis Bermudez. There was the fight, obviously, with Yaya Rodriguez, where he was winning that fight with 1 second to go.
Yeah, 100% had that win.
And he got caught, and it happens. Yeah. And if he wins that fight, then you've got Bermudez, Rodriguez, Moicano. It's like that's 3 really solid wins to come back to, especially Moicano, and taking him out in the first round. That's some serious style points on his side for that. So he's just very crafty in every area. I think that he's got far too much. Well, not far too much in the feet. You know what Frankie's like. He uses his boxing to try and get into clinch positions, get takedowns, and once he gets there, he tries to pepper you with ground and pound and look for the submission. But I think Zombie's going to catch his chin. I think he's going to knock him out. I really do. I think that inside the first 2 rounds, Zombie's going to just catch him with something really good. It's going to push Frankie back, and I think he's going to catch him and be the second guy to knock out Frankie Edgar. But if Frankie can get those takedowns and spam those takedowns and be in position where he is delivering ground and pound, then maybe he comes through in this one. I struggle to see. I think that Zombie's I hope he's a good pick in this one. I like him via knockout. I just think once the power shot lands, I think that Frankie will be taken aback by it and he'll get taken out. So I've got the Korean Zombie to win at home.
Nice, but it's a horrible one to pick because when I heard the fight announcement, I thought Frankie short notice. Frankie's a bastard anywhere. Do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter who fights, he's a horrible matchup because he's got great conditioning. He's never tires in fights. He has got a good chin. I know he got stopped by TC, but he has got a generally good chin. He's got a good output with his boxing. But I think my kind of shine went off and was the Aldo matchup, when Aldo just kind of figured out how to stop him and beat him. Aldo has great takedown defense, so that helps him against someone like Frankie. And then he just picked him apart at UFC 200. It was a masterclass for Aldo against Edgar. Edgar just could not get close, and I kind of thought, oof, there's a bit of a blueprint here. People are starting to realise, like, you can keep Frankie away, you can really start to damage on Frankie and just take that victory. I think the Korean Zombie here, I was going back and forth on this one, Will, because like you said, Frankie, if he gets those takedowns in, he then starts to favour, because he's got really good jiu-jitsu to kind of put submissions in, but he's just a good hard worker on the ground and tires you out. But I don't think it's like the Cub Swanson matchup where Frankie got the win. I was annoyed at the rematch with Cub Swanson. I was like, it's going to be the same again, because Cub Swanson has not evolved in one little bit, and it was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I think Korean Zombie, he's really good because he's patient with his output. He'll just take his time, get the timings down, and that Moicano stoppage, oh man, that was quick. That right hand was like a missile. Quick, cracked him, and then that killer instinct was there. Frankie has to close the distance. It's not the other way around, and Frankie closes distance, and he's there to be then hit. I think if I'm Korean Zombie, I take note of the Aldo fight. I look at that fight and I replicate it. I think Frankie, I know he's got Mark Henry with the wicked combinations. I know Frankie wanted to stay active. I just wouldn't have taken this fight. I just wouldn't have. I would have just been like, bollocks, I want to make that 135 drop. Even though it's not any better, but it's still, I'm going to go with Korean Zombie. I'm going to give the kudos to Edgar. I'll give him a bit of respect. I'll say decision win, because I want to be nice to Frankie, because he is, to me, I think Frankie's a bit of a ledge. You know, he is a fantastic fighter. He's put some great matchups for me over the years, and I've always got a bit of a soft spot for Frankie. He's just a great guy to watch compete. The best bloody nose you'll ever see in your life, every time. It just doesn't stop. So yeah, I'm gonna go with Korean Zombie. I think decision win. I think he'll pick him apart like Aldo did, just pepper him off and just wear the numbers game. So I'm gonna go with Korean Zombie. Decision win. Sorry, bro.
Last thing, I was just looking through Korean Zombie's record there, like of his C record or whatever, just his record in general. And it's next year is 10 years from his fight with Leonard Garcia. I'm thinking, where has that time went?
10 years. WEC.
Then I'm looking at his fight against Mark Hominick, which he won in 7 seconds. And that was December 10th, 2011. I'm like,
I feel so old now.
Yeah. And then there's the Pori fight, 2012.
Yeah.
7 years old.
He had the triangle on him and nearly finished him in the triangle, I recall, and it was so close. Oh, it was crazy.
And he's still only 32, so I'm thinking 10 years ago he was only 21, 22. It's crazy, actually, how quick time goes. And I mean, he's been in the UFC for, what, March 26th, 2011, so 9 years and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights. This is going to be 8th fight in the UFC. It's kind of crazy, but he is one of the guys that I would love to watch fight live, but I doubt that's ever going to happen. But yeah, really fun fight.
Yeah, it is super fight, and let us know who your picks are. You know, down below, give us your picks for the main card. Maybe the kind of sleeper fight that you're looking forward to, or just in general, give us all the picks. We love the conversations last week, as you saw. Great talking to everyone, and we will interact with you as best we can, and we just join in as much as you can. Next up, we have the bets, Will. I'd like to know if you have any bets for the end of the last card of the year, but also, is there anything in particular that might change in the week that might kind of lean you towards a potential bet?
Well, I've got 2 bets actually for this card. I've kind of not fell off in my bets the last kind of couple of weeks. I've just had a couple that's kind of went against me. I had I went late last week. I thought, right, I'm going to take Ketlen Vieira to do that, and I had a parlayed up with who did I have a parlayed up with? Let me check.
But if there's no bets,
Nunes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I thought that if Caitlin gets through, I thought Nunes was going to do it, but then she got iced cold by Aldana.
Crazy.
And yeah, for this week, I've went Ryan Benoit minus 110. I'm like,
That's good.
a little bit surprised that line was as close as that,
Yeah.
if I'm being honest with you. And I've got a parlay of the Korean Zombie and Pantoja for plus 148. And there is spots I do like. Like I say, it's the last betting event of the year. I'm going to finish up this year, which is nice. Not as much as last year.
Up's betting down. That's the only way to put it. Doesn't matter if you're up by 1 unit or 50. You're up.
Yeah, so there is spots here. Rakić jumps out at me. I think that minus 145, I think's all right. I actually quite like that because
Do you think money will come in this week though for Oezdemir? Do you reckon potentially?
I think money might come in on Rakić.
Yeah.
I think Oezdemir could be a bigger dog, so he might not be the worst play in the world. Taking a dog play on Oezdemir, because I think I've got a funny feeling Rakić might go up a little bit. Mike Rodriguez, another guy I'm looking at betting, he's minus 125. I think he's minus 10 over here in the UK actually. In the meantime,
What's Barcelos and Nurmagomedov, out of curiosity?
Yeah, this is interesting. So in the UK over here, we've got Nurmagomedov's a plus 140 underdog.
Get out.
To Barcelos. In America, he's plus 125, so money's coming in on Nurmagomedov, so people are getting on that dog hype really, really early. And
makes sense.
Yeah, it's a close fight. It's one that jumps out to me.
Yeah.
That I think, right, I really think I should bet Nurmagomedov, but it kind of reminds me of the Colby fight last week, because I picked Colby, and I thought to myself, I think I should bet Colby, but the fight was so close that I couldn't tell which way it was going to go.
Yeah.
That I stayed away. It was the best decision because it would have been a losing bet in my opinion. This kind of Barcelos Nurmagomedov kind of reminds me of that a little bit, but I feel more inclined to just take the shot at Nurmagomedov and see how it goes. So that might be one that I make through the week. Omar Morales is another guy that I think I could parlay up with Kang. That's the other one I was looking at. Morales is minus 175. Kang is... Where are you, Kyung? They were minus 250. So if you put them together, you get plus money, probably plus 110, 114.
Nice.
That range. So not bad at all. It's a decent spot here. Also,
what's the main card? What's the main event? Sorry, what's the main event odds?
So, Edgar's plus 150 dog. Jung's minus 170 favourite, which I think...
That's not bad numbers. I would have thought it'd be a little bit closer, but it's not bad.
I think money will come in Jung. I think that line might go up a little bit, but yeah.
170 is good though.
There's definitely opportunities here. Like I like Rodriguez. I like who's the other one? Morales. I think that you could put them together. Ciryl Gane's minus 800, which is kind of like whoa, that's kind of high, heavy, but I can see why.
Yeah.
Not that I'd be touching something with a number that high, but Pantoja, like I got minus 187. He's minus 210. So yeah, there's definitely spots here. I actually think Suman Mokhtarian. This is a guy that's going to. I think through the week I'm going to think a dog playing that guy is maybe not going to be too bad because Choi's not that good.
Yeah.
And Choi's minus 275. I'm thinking that's high.
What's Suman?
Suman's plus 235. I'm thinking
no, that is way off.
Well, it's a fight with two fairly bad fighters.
Yeah. That's what I mean. I still would have it closer for two bad fighters.
I wouldn't begrudge a shot at those odds. But I know what I'll do. I'll sit back and take it, watch it, and just see how it goes on. But yeah, there's definitely spots this week, and I will. I will probably have another couple of plays to end off the year. I might even have something with Ali Malay McFarlane, who's minus 100. But if I can find a piece to put with her, I think that she's got a good opportunity.
Even someone from the UFC card, yeah.
As much as I would like to see Kate Jackson get the win, I think that she's just outmatched in Hawaii against Ali Malay, who's I really like watching fight. Someone actually I really like watching. I think she's really, really good. I think she's very dangerous on the ground. So, yeah.
It'd be interesting. Look, folks, that's the bets. But if you have any bets, stick them down below. Let us know who you're putting your money on. Great to hear from you guys. Also, and girls. Also, if you're curious about any bets, who you think maybe should put any bets or parlays, or if you want any tips or hints, drop a message as well down below in the comments section. Not only could we come back to you, there's other people who tune in and also are happy to help out as well, because we love everyone joining the conversation. We're not sitting here saying we're the gurus. We're not the gurus of picks. No one is the picks. No one sits there every week and gets the picks every time. It's impossible. It's a fight game. It's just a personal analysis. So feel free to give your opinion. Always remember, don't be a dick, because you'll get blocked. It's just a community, and that's what we want. We want a community of growth, talking and love and sharing all that good stuff. But again, join us on the 29th of December. Join us then for the live chat. From me and Will, we want to say, if you don't join in on the 29th, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, all the other bloody ways you want to call it. Seasonal greetings. Have a fantastic new year. Thank you for this year. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for the subscribes. Thank you for the views. We love you. Next year, we're going to probably go bigger, folks. So thank you so much. Will, any last words for the last breakdown of the year?
No, just thank you for the support. Thank you for helping grow us to nearly 1,000 subscribers. And just happy holidays to you, your family. And I really hope you have a kind of prosperous Christmas and New Year. So all the best from us.